All right, so I'm currently on the phone with Johan Dahl. I'm going to go ahead and give him the chance to introduce himself.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for the invite, Alexander. I'm a singer, singer slash songwriter here in Sweden, and I am a singer part time. I work as a music teacher as well, but for the moment I'm on parental leave. So yeah, I do a bit of singing whenever I can. Uh, I like to sing jazz, and I perform at different clubs, coffee shops, and sing in the streets.
Very cool. Well, thanks for joining me.
Oh yeah,
So, with these interviews, I always kind of like to go back to the beginning and kind of, get some details about what it was about music that you first encountered that drew you into it.
yeah. Well, from the beginning, I guess I got to start with that when I joined the children's choir. It was me, one guy, and 30 girls. So, but that was fun because we had a lot of like musicals that we performed and we trained to perform in, and then I could sing solo on some songs, and sometimes we had some really big audience, so that was a big thing for a kid. And then some performances in school too. And then I remember that one girl said that you were so great to sing in front of the whole school. And then it was like blushing. It was like, wow, someone really likes this. So that gave me confidence.
Okay,
So I guess it started from there.
okay, so it kind of sounds like it all started kind of through the regular school curriculum. Granted, it's probably a bit different for you than it was for me being in the States versus you being in Sweden. But it sounds like there's some similarity there where you had
Yeah.
concert band or choir or whatever offered to you as well. What do you kind of think set into you about that environment that made you want to continue to do that once you were out of school?
Well, the thing is that actually I had a pause for music for some time. And then I reconnected in my 20s because I wanted actually to, my ambition was to actually be a singer, to work as a singer. But I had some confidence issues, and I wasn't so, I didn't really think that it would work. But I didn't want to give it up, so I joined this school for performance in Stockholm, and I met a lot of musicians, singers, and that was like a boost for confidence,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. And then it made me start to join some rock bands and etc., jazz orchestras.
Okay. And so that was all kind of the next level of schooling that you kind of got into more specialized training for performance and okay.
Exactly. It was called Afro singing, like based on the African American singing tradition, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Yeah. So I guess I developed my interest for jazz at this stage too, because I listened a lot to Frank Sinatra and his timing and how he phrased in singing. So I learned basically all of his the American songbook.
So what do you think kind of was kind of informative to the way that you wanted to pursue singing and doing vocals once you were out of the educational environment? Essentially, how did you kind of decide what you wanted to create?
Create what? In what sense do you mean?
Just the type of music that you wanted to work on.
Well, I guess it's you mean my specialty in jazz. I guess it's because I was, I guess, interested in the way that it swings and the way that you're so free and the way that you can improvise, and I like that a lot. And
Okay,
I mean,
I
it's like a
suppose
way of,
that was kind of the obvious answer there.
yeah, it's like a way of entertaining yourself. You mean,
Hmm.
I mean, that you can basically do it yourself, just putting on a record, and then you can just have a ball for 1 hour, just singing, improvising phrases.
Sure, definitely. So I imagine at that school they taught multiple different forms of music and not just
Yeah,
jazz.
yeah.
Um,
We tried a lot of different genres, actually,
okay,
and it
and you just
so
found that jazz was one that kind of spoke more closely to the
yeah.
type of music you want to create.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Even though I like, of course, listen to other singers too in other genres. Like I
Hmm.
really like, the way that some of his old type singers like Elvis, Tom Jones, their techniques too. And I try to, when you do it first, you try to mimic it, and then you try to find your own style.
Sure, absolutely. So tell me about how that kind of transitioned to the next phase. Obviously, you have kind of your own projects going on. You spoke briefly about Dahl being one of your projects. Tell me about how that came about.
Well, it came about actually that because I think partly because of my wife, and partly because of my hearing. You see, I have a wife that is very good at motivating me and believing in me, and then I have a hearing problem that I'm hearing just on one ear,
Hmm.
that I developed actually in right after I started to singing in bands. I developed that. So it was on why I started Dahl was that she said that basically you're just well, I had a pause in singing and I didn't do that much, so I sang for her, serenading, and she said that why don't you serenade for more people? I mean, you should make something out of it. People would like it. So there are social media. I mean, you should try that first. So we made a lot of music videos with singing, and then after that, try to build up a fan base and to get gigs. And that's pretty recently, actually. That has been for some, half a year or something now.
Okay, you mentioned there that you've done vocals and sang for other bands prior to this project. How did those projects go that kind of led you to where you are now?
Which projects do you mean?
You referenced that you had done singing for other bands.
Oh yes. Well, for example, I sang in a rock band, and like I said, I had trouble with my ear, and it wasn't really my cup of tea. I felt it. It for me, it felt a bit forced, and it wasn't me. So I tried. I gave it more tries with different bands and set auditions, but it just never felt like me. You know what I mean?
Sure, absolutely. So it sounds like with the Melodol project, that is, a much more in alignment with the type of material that you want to be making.
Yeah, I exactly. It's where I can choose what I want to actually to focus on, right? And so I can lead it in that direction. So that is one good thing about it. And but then, of course, I want to explore other things. It's not only jazz. I want to explore other genres too and be open-minded. Of course, so I do different genres. I sing in Swedish, I sing in English, and you know, different. But I guess jazz will always have a soft spot in my heart.
So where do you want to see this project go? Do you imagine like a full band lineup, or is it always just going to be kind of you and your wife working on it? What's kind of the end goal here?
Well, the angle is that I want to see how far it can go. I want to be able to sing and entertain, and actually to make songs that make people feel, you know. And I want my music to make people feel and react. Um, I'm writing some songs too. I want to find producers to make it more professional, you know,
Sure.
so it can reach out to more people. And I want to see how far I can make it go. But yes, I have ambitions. I want to be on the big stages. Yes, I want to be that.
You imagine having like a full band backing,
Yeah, I want
shows
to
and
have
doing tours and stuff.
you know, I want to have this big orchestras, me singing a jazz song and entertaining. Yeah, absolutely.
Sure, awesome.
That's what I
Um,
want to do. I want to play in these big, you know, jazz clubs in Sweden, in Stockholm, etc., and even abroad if that is possible. Yeah.
Absolutely. You should always pursue the highest version of your dream.
I mean, you know, when I started this, or like I said, 1.5 years ago or something like that, I mean, everything has gone really fast. I mean, so I never pictured it would go so fast. So what will happen after 6 months more? I don't know, but it's very exciting, actually.
Yeah, that's very cool. So tell me a couple memories that stand out to you from either being in school and learning music or working on this project. What are some things that kind of stand out to you to keep you motivated?
Well, to keep me motivated, I guess there are always, I would say one thing is teachers that have learned me important lessons in music. I remember that I had a talk once with one of my teachers at this school that I mentioned in Stockholm, where I learned singing and performing. It's called Kulturama. And one of my teachers there, we had a little talk, and she said that, well, what do you want with your music? I mean, I said that, well, I want to be able to sing. I want to be able to sing, you know, these songs that Sinatra made famous and be able to sing this jazz song. She said that, well, hey, you're more than Sinatra, you know, you're more than jazz. Be your own. You got to find your own voice. And that was interesting. That you said you got to find your own voice, and I really thought about that. That it's important when you interpreted something. That you learn. You learn by the singers, and then you unlearn. So you got to find your own inner voice and your own interpretations, but you use these techniques that you have. That's very important. So that was one very good advice that you gave, actually. One thing more, I guess it's just got to be the singing part when I was small and seeing this big audience. And that was a feeling of, you know, like a really energy kick to have them in your hand, like they would react to what you sing, and that's very powerful for a 9-year-old. I guess.
All right. So, where can people find all the stuff that you're working on, what you'll be putting out? What are your social media handles?
Well, for a major part, it's Instagram. I'm on I have an account that's called Dahl. It's like a wordplay on in Sweden. We have this big festival called Melodifestivalen, and so this is Dahl instead of Melody Dahl. And then my surname is like yours, Dahl. It's a great surname. So yeah. So Dahl, my name Johan Dahl. Yeah. Then I'm on Facebook too, and those are my sources for my music. And there are a lot of videos on me performing there, some original content too. on my songs are there, but mostly covers and music videos and videos of live performances.
So I always like to give the person I'm interviewing the opportunity to put out their last word. So what's a message that you have that you want people to hear?
Well, the message is to be, well, if I want to give out one advice as a musician, is to be persistent and not give up, even if it feels very hard and that you're not really getting out something. I mean, I heard someone said recently that persistence beats talent every time. And that's true. That that's the whole thing about music, that keep on going and you will make it.